Hey, it's Brain Muffin back, and we got some Star Wars stuff we want to discuss. So this has been going around the internet for quite some time, and no one seems to know, and it seems like every other day I see another article asking the same questions. What in the world will Star Wars Episode 9 from Outer Space be called? Who knows? And there's some that say that the title giveaway, Lucas may have done it, or may have said something. There are plenty of clues hidden in the opening crawls of this trilogy, and the Knights of Ren should be considered a frontrunner. We're a little less than a year away from the release of Star Wars Episode 9, the final installment of the sequel trilogy. I don't think they know what to call it. We screwed up. Although it may be too early to tell for some, the most hardcore fans are counting down the weeks until December 20th, all 6 of them. There was a time that a lot of people had been counting down. So we should get, my guess is we're going to get at the very least a teaser trailer, if not a full trailer by the time of the Super Bowl, and we'll know the title. But hey, we got to have something to write about. The official title for The Last Jedi was announced on January 23rd, 2017. Expecting a similar marketing trajectory, we should have our title in just a few short weeks. Typical of both Star Wars films and director J.J. Abrams, the next chapter in the saga of Ray Finn Poe and company, shrouded in mystery. It's in a mystery box. Star Wars: The Mystery Box. Title give us our first indications of what is in store. Not really, though. We learned The Last Jedi may not go the way expected. While the titles for George Lucas directed and scripted Star Wars were lovingly pulpy, the sequel trilogy has opted for more direct titles at home and on a central issue. Force Awakens was pulled directly from Snoke's line within There's Been an Awakening. Have you built it? And I still say it's Finn, and I think Ruin Johnson screwed that up. While The Last Jedi is taken from The Force Awakens opening crawl. With it in mind, it seems safe to assume that the title for this episode 9 won't come out of left field, Attack of the Clones, and instead be taken from the opening crawl. It wasn't left field. That was to go with the Return of the Jedi. Or no, Attack of the Clones was the second one. Empire Strikes Back kind of thing. After mining The Force Awakens and Last Jedi for clues, there are some titles. So, The Knights of Ren. One of the biggest hanging question marks over the sequel trilogy is the identity of the mysterious Knights of Ren. When Kylo Ren is sent after his father, Han Solo, in The Force Awakens, Supreme Leader Snoke says even the Knights of Ren have never faced such a test. He sees flashes of figures who may have been the Knights of Ren in Rey's Force vision, and we see, not he, in which she sees Kylo amongst similar dressed figures, and he kills them. Based on the context, it seems that likely the Knights are a group of dark side warriors working for Snoke, but what happened to them? Is it possible that Snoke broke the Sith tradition of Master and Apprentice? And I'm like, yeah, that was a dumb tradition. The Knights of the Old Republic games broke that tradition. It's clear that Ben Solo's new name, Kylo Ren, suggests his membership among the Knights. But who is Ren? And is it just a coincidence that it's one letter off from Rey? Probably, because Jar Jar Abrams is not much of a writer. Has shown a penchant for hiding mysterious right under our noses, perhaps right. It's possible that Snoke, who we'll hopefully learn more about despite his demise, and was Ren at one time. Okay, so let's move on. The Ashes of the Empire. The opening crawl for The Force Awakens says the sinister Force Order has risen from the ashes of the Empire. Perhaps the idea of ashes of the old... Why would this be at the end? Not at the beginning. Force Awakens received criticism for following too closely. It ripped it off. But arguably this was, of course it was intentional. It was built saga upon parallel story. Yeah, no, that they were rebooting Star Wars and they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Kylo Ren's identity is founded on... wait a minute. Kylo Ren's identity is founded on ashes, and we see a very little take on this as he keeps Darth Vader's helmet in ashes. Yep. Rey's transformation to a Jedi. She's not a Jedi. With the acquiring of the lightsaber left behind from Empire Strikes Back, we could see this debris as another form of ash. And on the, I'm not buying this one. The decision based on events in the previous war, just as our World War II followed results of and alliances of World War One. Anyway, the rising tyranny. Again, remember, this is the last one. This is not the beginning or the middle. This is the last movie. Why would you do the rising tyranny as a last movie? That's that's kind of like Empire Strikes Back. Taken from The Last Jedi's opening crawl, only General Leia Organa's band of resistance fighters to stand against the rising tyranny. Again, this is that would, okay, whatever. That's only a joke in the smallest degree because of all the lightsaber fights and space battles. Star Wars is deeply political franchise, one that often comments on real world issues. For whatever faults the prequel trilogy has, Lucas really zeroed in on how political policies stemming from fear tactics led to the collapse of democracy. Yeah, and that actually is still happening. So while this title, which recalls Empire Strikes Back with a darker edge, may seem like one that would have worked better in the second installment, it does create a sense of building tension that would make audiences question who, if anyone, is going to make it out of this film unscathed. Rey. Mary may have triumphed at the end of Last Jedi, but she's yet to be tested as a true Jedi. Why? She's beaten Kylo Ren twice. What do you mean, yet to be tested? She didn't stand very fair against Snoke, but... she's being beaten the main one. All right, a spark of hope. Oh my God, this just gets worse. This is like 4 random things, 4, 5, whatever. The spark of hope, turning from our darkest titles, suggestion toward our lightest. The spark of hope has its roots in the we have hope. It's like Rogue One. It's like every other word. Hope. I knew hope. While Episode 9 is certainly not the final film within the. Yeah, it is. It's going to be years for them to make any successful Star Wars movies. It ought to be Star Wars 9. We apologize, and I think that we get people in the seat in the audiences in there. So how Bird Week the books. Okay, so now this is from the Hollywood Reporter. There aren't any comments, but good grief, these are horrible. All of these are horrible. I think Episode 9 from Outer Space is actually the best suggestion. This is just stupid. I would like to see the Knights of Ren if this is actually a thing, and then they made side movies off of that. Ashes of the Empire, again, these are all too old. This was the second one. Ashes of the Empire could have been the first one, actually. And a spark of hope. That's just dumb. A spark of hope. That would if they did something like that, it would hopefully really show that we're just copying the first movies. That's all we ever did. That's probably the return of hope. There we go. Star Wars Episode 9, the return of hope. All right. So what do you think? Do you have any ideas what you think the title's going to be? Or do you think Jar Jar Abrams is going to pull something out of left field and kind of like it normally does? And I don't see any of this really mattering. I mean, it's going to make money. It's a Star Wars film, but, after Solo and everything else, and now there's people that really hate The Last Jedi who kind of liked it a year ago. So it's kind of the tide is turning. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you. Bye.